Hey y'all, welcome back to the Gossiping Gypsy Sisters. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Annie. You may know us from the TLC show Gypsy Sisters. We're here with our very own podcast called the Gossiping Gypsy Sisters, where we break down all things gypsy.
From the culture to the fashion to our everyday lives. Each week, we will be updating you on our personal lives as well as breaking down the episodes for the very first time right here with you guys.
So if this is your first time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more gypsy content.
Today, we are discussing season 4, episode 3 of TLC's Gypsy Sisters. Desperate times call for desperate measures. That alone, desperate, sounds hard up, doesn't it? For certain things.
In this episode, Dovey comes to town, Nettie has acupuncture, and we go meet a spiritual shaman.
Which we have never done before prior to the show. I didn't even know what a shaman was, honestly.
Dovey done it, but yeah, I've never have either. So guess we shall see how this episode goes. The theme of this episode is confronting your problems head on.
I can think of many times that there's been problems that personally me myself that I've had to face head on that I cannot run from. Because when you try to run from your problems, they're going to come back to haunt you. It's best just to be straight up, confront it, as respectfully as possible and move forward.
True that. True that.
Okay, let's get into it. Let's talk about this first thing, Annie. When Nettie, call me over.
In this scene, Mellie, Kayla, and I call Nettie to talk about Gypsy Grapevine. While we're on the phone, Nettie denies her involvement, and she says she knows who done it, which is, she said it was Dallas. Turns out it wasn't Nettie, it was her daughter Dallas.
So I'm not so sure that I believe that it was really truly all Dallas. I think with Dallas being Nettie's daughter, she probably put the blame on her daughter rather than just being straight up that she had some involvement with it. But I say it was both of them. I think they both
On
took a
top
part.
of you confronting Nettie, she's screaming to you about me and Dallas's baby daddy getting together. Like, what did that have to do with her calling you a whore or anything?
To get the attention off of what we just approached her about. She would rather talk about you being with Jay than what she actually said about me, which showed some guilt. That's why I feel like that she had just as much involvement as her daughter. If she wants to throw her daughter under the bus, it's because she done exactly what she done.
Well, I won't lie. The whole time in the episode, her daughter had her phone a lot in the episode. Rewatching it back, Dallas did have her phone.
Okay. And my grandkids and kids get my phone. I'm not gonna you wait a minute. Dallas had her phone or Nettie's phone?
Nettie's phone.
Oh, well, there you go. So then she was doing it from Nettie's phone, which was
That's
under whatever fake account, Gypsy Grapevine, where it was going on.
yeah, but Nettie was saying her daughter took her phone, so it was her kid.
I strongly believe that Nettie had just as much involvement as she says her daughter did, and I'm gonna leave that there.
Well, let me tell you, Mellie took things a bit too far because she was screaming that she wish Nettie would die of her lupus. She would just die. She was screaming, I wish Nettie would die.
And I will say there are some things that you just don't say, and there are some lines you just don't cross, and that was
And
absolutely one.
yeah, and you can't take stuff like that back after it's unsaid.
No, you can't. You don't wish death on your enemy, let alone your
Her
sister.
sister, yeah, her Joanne heard it on the phone.
Oh no, that is not freaking cool at all.
Poor cow.
And that's why I decided to end the phone call because too much was going on. All I wanted to do was talk to Nettie about calling me a whore. It goes to her trying to throw Dallas under the bus,
She can't get comfortable.
to Mellie wishing Nettie would die. Like, look what all come out of me just calling to ask one question.
It's too
That's
much.
how you know there was a lot of guilt. But anyways, moving past that, yeah, I don't believe any of that. Well, Annie, let's talk about when Mellie and I go meet with the lawyer. Because honestly, I didn't even know, I truly did not know anything about a cease and desist letter. So, like me and Mellie taking that step and going to meeting a lawyer and me finding out, we explained to this lawyer what all is going on. There's a gossip page. We're being slandered. There's things up there that is not true about us. You can't kick on things that are being talked about that's true or that you yourself throw out there. But when you're really, really going as far as calling people a whore, um, and X, Y, and Z, there is something that can be done. I knew it. That's why I knew it was time to break down, get a lawyer, and go see what I could actually do. And the lawyer suggested to get a cease and desist. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it keeps them from talking about you or being able to mention your name on the internet.
The greatest thing I ever heard of was cease and desist.
Yeah, I've never had one. I never heard of it till then. So
I mean, Gypsy Grapevine hadn't been out very long, and I mean, they come out just wrecking shit off the bat. When I say they, I apparently it was Nettie and Dallas, exactly like we thought all along. And the account was telling me that they were willing to reveal who it was, and they did. So what I thought I was right all along.
I don't know. She said it was her daughter, so I don't know.
When
And take accountability for it.
the lawyer did tell us in the office, he said before he sends out the cease and desist letter. So the lawyer told me, he said, and Mellie, he said there is something that can be done. He said it's called cease and desist, and he explained that was what that was. What that meant was once he writes that up and it officially goes out, they're not allowed to get up there and talk about us no more. And if they get caught, there's a law for that. That's first and foremost. Second of all, he told us that before he sent that cease and desist letter out, that it was my responsibility and Mellie's to write the page and tell them to refrain from talking about me. And why? Because I'm in the process of a cease and desist, so it needs all of it needs to cease. And needless to say, the cease and desist letter did get sent out. Never did the trash talking stop because they just hid behind all these pages for all these years behind fake names. I just learned to deal with it. Why at a point you get to where why even worry about going that far to defend lies anyway?
It's crazy.
I just sucked it up.
You
and
ain't
said,
gonna
"Hell
win with
with
them
it."
anyway.
No. This is one of those actual things where production did not persuade me to do this. This was just me laying in bed countless nights wondering, what can I do about this? So that's what made me reach out to the lawyer. If anyone knew, it would be a lawyer. So I called the lawyer and he set up an appointment. And we went in and that's where we were with it. There was something that could be done. But it didn't stop. So we paid this money to get this lawyer, and they just kept on going behind fake accounts. So people keep that in mind. If people is out there, trash talking you behind fake Facebooks, unless you can track an IEP, they can get away with it. But if it causes too much harm, then they will track IEP and then they'll get whoever's ultimately responsible. But I don't know why law enforcement has to wait for people to, in this case, not die, but you got to be damn near death for people to jump in and really get to the bottom of things.
Yeah, that's crazy. It is. The world nowadays ain't like it used to be back in the day. So
Oh no, it's way worse now. We thought it was bad back then. It's worse now. Well, let's talk about Joanne, Nettie, and her daughter at Nettie's house.
in this scene, Nettie's daughter is going through Nettie's phone trying to read all her messages. During the conversation, they talk about Nettie's illness and her body shutting down. She's talking about having to go to the hospital and battling depression, which Nettie did in that scene. She was dealing with all the stuff with her sister. I guess Mellie was living at your house and she couldn't take it all. And then Mellie was on the phone telling her she wished she was dead. She wished she died from lupus. She had a lupus flare up. It was all kind of crazy mess going on then.
It was, but I feel like if Mellie and Nettie would stop manipulating each other, that it would have minimized a lot of the stress that Nettie was under.
Well, Joanne calls Dovey to come down because Dovey had just went through a divorce and all, and she called Dovey there to see if she could help bring the family back together. So Dovey comes down like that very next day.
which is one of the sisters that we rarely see throughout the show, but she's also the sister to them.
Yeah, she's Joanne and Nettie's sister.
Well, let's talk about Mellie playing with baby Richard at my house.
She had her moments on the show where she played with her kids and spent her time with her kids.
Yep, she had a
And
lot
then
of
behind
moments.
and then behind cameras, they were
Woohoo!
grandparents' house and sister's house. I don't know.
Everywhere but the living room of my house.
That's true. That's very true. But she had her moment on camera, and I'll leave it there.
Uh, as for me, I can say then, and I will say to the day I die, I have been a mother to my children. No one's ever had to raise mine. Either they have been with me or their father. They have never been in the hands of no one else to be raised. Personally, I was never a mother on screen, to get credit for being a mom. I'm a mother on screen, off screen, in the middle of the night, uh, through thick and through thin. I mean, you cannot just be a parent when it's convenient.
Well, as far as my kids go, I'm the same way. All my kids are close. They're close to this day. There's some of them. Michaela lives in North Carolina. Carly's at her dad's on here. And she comes here. She goes to her dad's. Chrisland's in West Virginia, even though they're spaced out and hours apart. Lacey just went and spent a month with Chrisland and spent time with her. And Michaela went up there. So all my kids are very close. They don't fight. I, w- I didn't raise my kids to have hate toward one another.
I'll tell you, mine either. Sissy and Danielle, they're so close of sisters that they might go at each other every now and then, but they'll cry right after. Like, yes, all my kids are very close to this day as grown adults, from children all the ways up. Um, they're all very close with each other.
They all come spend time with me. Crystal normally comes, stays with me 2 weeks at a time, and then Carly come. She was just with Chrislyn. Like all my kids are very close. I'm glad they've never had no falling outs and arguing and wanting to fight each other or wish death upon each other. It's some crazy
Oh, I've
shit. That's
never.
something you don't do.
And it's something no mother or sibling or anyone should be hearing coming out of anyone's mouth. That shows the level of disrespect that you just can't take out of somebody. Let's talk about when Joanne meets Dovey.
In this scene, Joanne and Dovey have tea to discuss what's going on with the family, and Joanne orders chocolate tea and they chat about everything going on. I know Dovey talks to her about a spiritual shaman, which I've never heard of, and I'm not gonna kick it, but I've never heard of anything. Not nobody in my family, I don't think have ever done that.
I think that may have been a little. I don't think they knew too much about it either. I think it may have been production suggested.
Yeah, because I don't know. Dovey said she went through it with her marriage.
Oh, she did? Well,
That's what
then
she
maybe she
said.
knew something
She
we
knew the
didn't.
lady, like when rewatching the show back, she told a lady long time no see, like she knew the woman that she wouldn't met.
Oh,
So, I mean, I guess Dovey really did do it. I don't know if she did or not, but I know I've never heard of doing it, but it's whatever. It's whatever floats your boat if you feel like you need to do that.
I feel like it with them, especially with Nettie and Mellie. I don't feel like a shaman. I don't think anything but Jesus himself could help them. I'm serious because the way they go at it.
But
I don't
Mellie
know.
wasn't helping it out either, though. She just wasn't helping the situation out either because she kept screaming and being ignorant.
100% correct. She never once tried to.
And Joanne and Dovey was trying to be the middle person to mediate it all, and Mellie's just saying she's just saying some bad things.
Well, see, Mellie knows how to investigate Nettie, and Nettie knows how to investigate Mellie. So you got two literal investigators that will throw down with each other quicker than lightning, and both of them is absolutely going to get the last word. I don't care what you say.
Well, they sat down with the spiritual shaman, I know, and Dovey and Joanne explains to her everything that's going on. The tension, really, in this episode, it's mainly you, Nettie, and Mellie with all the stuff going on.
But
I'm back here like the
But I understand
That
Joanne and Dovey wanting to go through, or Dovey wanting to do this, and Joanne wanting to take a part because
it's her sister.
yeah, they're all torn between one
And
another.
Mellie's living in your house, which I get it. And all that stuff's going on. And Mellie's not helping the situation out with the whole. Yes, it's one thing that they're whatever's going on the grapevine thing. That's what you're mad about. But Mellie wasn't helping nothing out by making. She
No,
just made it worse.
She manipulated the situation every which way but loose. But guess what? Let's get real. That spiritual sermon never worked. Nothing that they bring to the table is going to work with these sisters. Is how I feel about it. I know it's a good idea and all, and maybe Dovey has done this herself, and maybe she has success. But look who we're talking about bringing to the table with the Sherman. I don't see it.
Shaman?
Shaman. I don't see it working. See, I've never heard of a Sherman, Shaman, woman. Anyway, so you guys get the point. Now, Annie, let's talk about when Nettie and her daughter get their nails done. This is where it all comes in.
Well, in the middle of them getting their nails done, they get served with, "Are you Nettie Stanley? You have been served with a cease and desist." She freaks out. Nettie went nuts at the nail salon.
You want to know why? Because that just,
I think that the crew had to let it happen on camera though, because they had to go know where to find her and stuff.
the crew did know.
I'm saying
They suggested me to go do that.
on camera though, to have her served at a nail salon.
Oh,
Production had to have it set up to where
somebody let it leak where she was at.
I never knew. I don't remember back then. I know I rewatched the episode and all, but she got served at the nail salon with her in the mix of having kind of a breakdown, trying to cool, calm. Dallas took her there to have a mother-daughter day to try to relax and all, and bam, get served with that.
Apparently, she
I
was
probably
having a
would have been
lupus
mad too.
flare.
I probably would have had uh, a attitude adjustment attitude flare up.
That's yeah, you ain't lying. But if she wasn't on the internet doing all this bad stuff, it wouldn't have ever been served.
Oh, she also said in the nail salon that gypsies don't like you and Mellie was acting like Americans, like y'all don't
Call me an American, call me a gorgeous.
gypsies don't do that.
I'm gonna stand by what's right, not what you want to call it, not what you see it, baby. If it's green, it's green.
Kayla, how do you think you would feel? Say you're at a nail salon with Sissy or Danielle or Lexi and you're out, or say you're grocery shopping. How would you feel if you got served out in the public? That's embarrassing.
It sure is an
And on national television.
but it might teach me to stay in my lane. It might be what I need to break me. I mean, about that out of control, maybe I might need that. I mean that in real life today. If I get out of control or start minding people's business that's not mine and somebody has me served, well, then I ask for it. What can I do? Throw a temper tantrum, fall out on the floor and cry like a kid, all because of at that point, I have to put the finger this way, not that way. So if it's something that I've done or caused to someone else, I most certainly deserve that. I'm saying that today and forever.
I hear you, sister.
So coming from someone that's got lupus and having lupus flare ups, why would you even put yourself in the middle of drama knowing that the minute you get all excited and get in a rage like you do, your lupus is going to flare up? Is it worth your health crisis? I don't think so.
I get it.
Well, Annie, let's talk about Nettie and her daughter driving home.
Well, in this scene, Nettie and her daughter are driving home from the nail salon and they called Joanne to tell her about the letter from the lawyer. While chatting with Joanne, she talks about how she's going to get her revenge.
You want to know how she's going to get her
More
revenge?
revenge. The letter wasn't good enough.
I was just going to say, obviously, the letter wasn't good enough. And don't you know, she had to call somebody. And at the end of the day, she called everybody. Why? At that point in her life, she loved her her fuel in life. Her life was fueled on drama. I've never seen so much drama in my life, nor could I ever go back to that. Not today. I I just don't have it in me to even deal with it. Like, I don't even associate with such things anymore in life. Not her. That was back then. I don't know how she is today. We're talking about back then. Back then, Nettie was raw.
No, I think she's calmed down now. You know, I don't even think
I
she
couldn't
barely gets
say
on
I
the
barely
internet.
I barely talked to her. I haven't talked to Nettie in years. I wish her well, but back then, man, she was a dog to a lot of people. She was good when she was good, but she was bad when she was bad.
Yeah. Well, you know, Joanne tells her why she's got her on the phone. She couldn't believe it, for one, but she also tells Nettie on the phone that Dovey's in town, and Nettie says, "Thank God." I mean, I guess she thinks Dovey's the peacemaker, but I don't know, man. I
At
just
the end of the day, she's the problem. If she fixed herself, no one would have had to come in town, right? Stay off the internet, and no one would even have to be in town.
true.
It's that simple. Man, they was eating that internet, but I swear, I'll go to my grave remembering they ate that internet alive with so much bull. Just stuff I never seen coming, things I never heard of. I learned so many new things about myself that I never even knew took place. I was a whore, I was an alcoholic, I was everything but human. Apparently, I must have been doing everything right to be everything wrong in their eyes. Not they, her. Well, let's talk about me, Luke, and Annie going to go get a tattoo cover up.
In this scene, Luke and Kayla and I go to the tattoo shop so Kayla can get her tattoo covered up. And in your interview, you say there's a new Kayla in town and you're not going to let people walk all over you. Do you still feel this way?
I sure do. I do not tolerate people walking over me. And how do I do that? I just don't respond. I'm going to let haters hate. And while they're hating on me, I'm over here truly doing things
Living
that's
your best life.
inspiring for me and my family, my friends, and absolutely, I'm living my best life. So I don't have time to even entertain what no one. If someone thinks down on me, so be it. I could care less. I have nothing to prove to no one but myself.
Yeah. Well, while you're at the tattoo shop, anyways, you said all of that. What tattoo did you get and do you still have it? You still have that tattoo on your lower back?
Oh yeah,
You ain't never redone it. Like
no, no,
you
no.
did it and that you left it there.
I did it. It was like a 3 session. That was one of the 3 sessions that I had done, but it's done. I've never switched it. It's still the same tattoo to today, and it still is just as bright as it was back then. That tattoo held up good.
You think you'll ever get well, yeah. I can't ask you, do you think you'll never get a person's name on you again? Because you done did. You got Benny.
I did, and I'm not doing no more. That's it. I'm done.
I hear you, sister. I got names on me. I've done cover-ups. And
Let's get real. Who hasn't had a cover up?
I got cover-ups. I mean, there might be a few I wish I wouldn't have got, but I got them, and yeah, they're there. I got some cover-ups, and it is what it is. I wish you know what? If I could take all my tattoos back, I wish I could take every one of 'em back. I don't want no tattoos. I wish I could erase them all.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like them.
Remember back in the day, I used to tell you, Annie, don't get tattoos, and then here I went and got
I don't
a
like
few
them.
myself.
I don't like them.
Well, let's talk about Dovey, Nettie, Joanne, and Annie's daughter. Sorry. Well, let's talk about Dovey, Nettie, Joanne, and Nettie's daughter at Nettie's house.
In this scene, Dovey, Nettie's daughter, and Joanne make dinner and talk about the cease and desist from the lawyer. And Nettie explains that she's upset because Mellie's her sister and why she acting like this. I get where Nettie's coming from, but Mellie's also, even back then, she might not look that she was whatever, trouble, whatever. Even when Mellie's nice, Mellie's not nice. Mellie still is evil and conniving behind her nice little whatever she got going on.
You're right. But
She had no business getting on TV talking about her sister the way she did. I don't care how mad or how bad Ninny done her, No matter how bad any of that was, let her sister talk all the shit. That don't mean you play fire with fire. She should have never wished death upon her sister. And I'll say,
And to tell you the truth, she was living with me at the time, and so therefore
I think that didn't help the situation out. I know that.
but what I'm trying to say is I was telling Mellie while Mellie was living
I
with
know you're just
me,
trying.
do not talk your sister like that, Mellie. You will regret that. So little did I know while I was having all these pep talks with Mellie about being a better sister. I didn't know what she was saying in these interview rooms. I didn't know she was talking about any like that after I have spent countless days and nights trying to talk to her like
Well,
a
she
sister,
said on the
telling her
couch
not.
the day you called her, y'all called her, and she was in the background screaming, "I hope you die."
I know,
That's
but
bad.
what I'm trying to tell you, she done all that, but off camera, privately, I tried to tell Mellie, this is not right, Mellie.
You don't do that shit on TV.
You're not one, you don't do it, and two, you're doing this.
Yeah,
The
you
world's
shouldn't do
going
it,
to see it.
period.
You should. Them certain things you just can't take back. And I told her, I said, you don't want to have to regret that one day in life. And when she said it, she told me she freaking meant it. And right there, I thought to myself, Lord, if she could wish death on Nettie, wouldn't she? Who wouldn't she wish death on?
No, yeah, she's bad.
Because
That's
if
her
you can wish it
sister,
on your
man.
sister, you'd wish it on anybody.
That's bad.
Well, let's talk about Joanne and Dovey going to visit the shaman.
They sit down with the shaman and tell her everything that's going on with the family, and they hope that they could do a spiritual healing for the whole family and everybody be able to be in one room and not have to kill each other off.
Well, we know anytime that you put Mellie or Nettie in the same room, somebody's popping off. That's a fact. And it's one of them. I'm talking about them too. And anytime I'm around, I'm just a threat to Nettie, periodly. I didn't know that she said so many bad things about me behind my back and in the interviews. I really didn't. I didn't know she felt that way about me because,
Well, you do now.
and it doesn't bother me. It won't change what I genuinely love her. I don't feel like she's treated me right, especially after things I've seen watching the show. But it won't make me love her. But it will never let us be who we once was either. I love from a distance. I wish her well, and I hope she heals from all the evil that has come come from her. I'm serious
I don't know.
because she's faced with a health disease, lupus. Some people, eventually pass away with that. I wouldn't want to see lupus get the best of Nettie. I would like to see Nettie beat lupus. If that was me, she would probably wish lupus would just go ahead and take me out. I don't wish the same for her.
No. Let's talk about me, Mellie, and
Well,
Annie.
Annie, let's talk about me, Mellie, you, Joanne, and Dovey meeting up at the bar. Oh,
In this scene, Mellie, Kayla, Joanne, and Dovey and I meet at the bar to discuss what's going on. And while at the table, Joanne calls you out for talking to a lawyer.
like, did they really think I was going to let Nettie and Dallas keep running me down on the internet for no apparent reason? Why do I have to be y'all's topic for discussion? I haven't wronged anyone. Why do you feel the need to keep kicking me down? Yes, I went to a lawyer, and yes, I would do it again today. Call me a gorger. I'm a gorger. I will go do it again. If they come at me good enough again, do you think I'm willing to take a rap sheet because anyone's miserable and want to talk shit? I don't have time for that. So I would have to go to a lawyer and let a lawyer handle it. I cannot put aside my life to deal with misery and miserable people,
Misery loves
which is
company.
my family that I love, but I cannot be a part of their life because they won't allow me to be. So stay that way with your shit. Just keep it away from me and I'm fine.
Well, I know Dovey says this is the last resort with going to a spiritual shaman, which I've never ever done in my life. I think it was more or less, like Kayla said, a production type deal.
Induced. I think it was production induced. Just like production, they didn't make us do anything. Production couldn't break our arm and make us do nothing. But production is the one that suggested the cease and desist, which was a brilliant idea. Had they not suggested that, I would have never known. But they left it to me that if I wanted to do it or not. And you're damn right I wanted to. And I think that they left it up to Dovey to say, "Hey, did you know you can do this? If so, do you want to move forward?" If they didn't make us do anything.
Well, I know Mellie kept saying she wasn't going, she was running her mouth. It was bad. It was just a whole bad deal.
Anything that Mellie had to be anywhere near sensible about with this show,
Well, anything they wanted her to do, and it was always a no. It
she
was
kicked.
always kicked it, yes.
It was all
But
she.
it was something she wanted to do. It was baby, it was
I feel like Mellie wanted it to be all eyes on her. So the more tantrum she threw, the rougher she got. She knew that the cameras would rush because what does television like? What moments do they like the most? Drama. And Mellie was so smart back then. She knew that. She knew that if she acted out and acted a fool, she could get the cameras to her. But she got them to her, but it wasn't all about her. And it didn't give her a good look. She's still wearing that look to today for people that doesn't know her personally. Well, let's talk about Nettie and Dovey getting acupuncture.
in this scene, Dovey takes Nettie to get acupuncture so she can distress. While there, we see Nettie getting poked with needles.
I've never had acupuncture for anything. Have you?
Yeah, I have. I've had it. Actually,
I know what it is. I've just never had it.
I've had little needles put in my back for my
Supposed to
muscles.
release
I know that Nettie starts
stress,
saying that
tension.
you see smoke and they put it in her feet or something because it starts smoking.
Uh-huh.
And she says it hurts.
I thought that wasn't supposed to hurt, but like I said, I've never had it. What?
I've had acupuncture. I've had the little cupping put on my back for my muscles. I'm actually going through that right now as we speak. Dry needling. I've had a bunch of different things going on that I've done.
But for stress though, stress we just kind of
Just a regular spa or massage.
Yeah, or a good little prayer and hey, getting self control works best for me. You have to learn how to control yourself. You can control your own stress levels. I mean, I've been through so
Sometimes
much.
they're crazy though. Sometimes you just
They are, and sometimes maybe you just need to pick up the phone and call a friend, someone you can actually vent to, or a sister, like we have numerous times before, and talked about things. And time we hang up, it's kind of like that's a de-stress moment.
Well, after Nettie gets poked, Nettie and Dovey calls Mellie and Mellie loses it.
I'm not
And at
surprised.
the time, you oh, at the times oh, at the time, did you want to work out things with Nettie? And I think you agreed. You agreed to
I
doing the Shaman.
always agree to anything that needs to be
Mellie's the
done.
one that threw a fit, and you tried talking Mellie into it. It was bad. Mellie was saying she didn't want to go, she wasn't going, and you were on the phone telling her in the background, yes, you are going. I think you had to end up dragging her out in the car to go, and she was cussing
Had
like
she not
cussing.
been living with me, I don't think I would have even got her there at all. It really did. Honest to God, it was hell getting her there.
Even on sick behind scenes, it was
Right,
also
that's
hell
what I'm
because she
saying.
was throwing shit, throwing a tantrum, and back then when we were filming, it was even worse with a filming crew around because Mellie liked to act out for the show.
I think Mellie was jealous that they chose Dubby to take part here.
All right, well, across town, Nettie, Joanne, and Dovey and Nettie's daughter drive to meet us, and while driving, they were talking about trying to fight us. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember they said that if somebody popped off, somebody's gonna be ready to throw fists and this and that. Like, life ain't always gotta be about a fight and throwing fists and throwing this and that. Like that's just crazy, man. I don't live my life every day to
Built up with anger.
fight or to I don't even run my if somebody wants to run their mouth to me anymore, I don't even do that anymore. I just let them go. You gotta let stupid people be with stupid people.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if they want to go past the point, there's a law for psychos. There's a law. And truthfully, this day and time, I'd rather see the white coats
Kayla, do you remember
insane them than to even be bothered.
driving to the Shaman? She took us to like a cabin out in the woods.
Yeah, it was so far out in the middle of nowhere. It was scary as shit. It was very
I remember
scary.
Nettie and them saying they were scared too, watching the episode back.
It was scary.
It was down gravel dirt roads.
And I kind of felt uneasy. I mean, it was supposed to be spiritual, but it felt like it was in a Michael Myers setting. How do you get a
Yeah, no,
spiritual?
how are you going to take a family that just went through something like this and take them in the woods?
Michael Myers deep.
Like, did they want did this shaman want like a fight or
Or a
what?
different type of a spiritual healing.
I don't know. It was scary.
Looking
Looking
back
back at it, it was all you could see was the headlights on the dirt path.
and in the dust coming up from the gravel
It was
dirt
scary.
roads.
It was very scary. It's something we've never done before, and I've never would do it again.
I was just getting ready to say it's nothing I would ever take part in, but I do give Dovey credit for trying it. Maybe she really did think that was going to work at that time. I give her credit for that.
Well, what do you think about this episode? Because I think this episode was more of a hectic one more than anything, just drama. It's more of a drama-led felt one.
Oh gosh, what do I think of this episode? Drama, 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 some more drama, and the drama will
I
never
rated it
stop.
probably a 3.
I rated it a 2. It wasn't one of my favorites by no means.
If I could go back and do it all over again, I probably wouldn't even have
Took
that.
apart.
I probably wouldn't even been staying in the same house with Mellie because she caused even more drama than what had to be around us. If it would have been just us without Mellie
It
there,
would have been fine. We would have had a
do
lot
you
more
know half of the show that was going on? Mellie caused 99% of all the drama that was going on the show.
No, let's
Ha-
be. Mellie was 100% the drama.
But I'm saying though, all them arguings and fight,
Was
all
all
that
Mellie.
would have never happened if she wouldn't have caused it all.
It was all Mellie, and Nettie would have been fine had she not
Listen to her.
Yeah,
And she knows what she was.
And
Today,
she would-
she still does.
She would even get up there and say, my sister Mellie is a liar. She's a manipulator. Well, if you know all these things, why is it that you pick and choose what you want to get on the internet and talk about or call and fight with me about? You know what Mellie is. So why are you going to even listen to Mellie and then call me and try and confront me about what your lying sister's calling and telling you, and you know she's lying? So where does that make you any better? Because if this was me and you and I knew you were a Mellie, I wouldn't be going after everyone that you're lying. I would be telling you, Annie, what are you doing? Why don't you leave these people alone? Why are you doing this? I wouldn't be calling and fighting with my family because you're running to me every 20
Well, mother
seconds.
never raised us like that. Mom didn't raise us, brother and sisters, to act like how Mellie and her sisters act. Like, it just ain't.
Well, if there's
Well, you see, Joanne lives off in North Carolina all by herself. She's always been away from it. She don't like the drama. She don't do drama, and she lives by herself, away from it.
it wasn't long after that show ended that I moved away from it all too, because I was up to here with it, and I just wanted away. I wanted away. I didn't feel like I was leaving my kids because my kids was equally with me, between me and their father. They wasn't with him, they was with me. They was with me and him just as much as one or the other. But it handled that problem. But if I could go back and do things different, I wish I would have never took that call and let Nettie talk me into being a part of Dallas's baby shower, which is what was featured on My Big Fat American Gypsy Weddings, which is what spun us off the show, because I would have never done it, knowing what I know today. Oh, I would have done it for any amount of money. You got to hear me. They couldn't have paid me enough to went through the hell that we went through for those few years of filming. All right, guys. Well, be sure to come back next time when we discuss season 4, episode 4, a drum rattle and a gypsy battle.
Oh my gosh.
Drum
As
rattle.
always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and send in all your burning questions. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.